brothers and sisters? We're hoping that you are doing perfectly well and you're enjoying life as it is. We have a lot of not very good things that are happening across the world, but we thank the Most High. So let's go to Angola. When we talk about the biggest oil producing countries in Africa, we talk of Nigeria, we talk of Angola, we talk of Egypt, we talk of, we have many countries producing a lot of fossil fuels in Africa. And Angola being the second after Nigeria, we are seeing something crazy that we never expected could happen in a country. So last Monday, we saw protests beginning in Angola, that is their capital, Luanda, and some other provinces, where we saw minibus taxi union launching a 3-day strike in response to the government move to raise diesel prices by a third, a measure aimed at curbing costly subsidies and stabilizing public finances. Generally, they just wanted to remove the subsidies on fuel so that they can, control their economy. So the demonstration quickly turned violent with reports of looting, vandalism, and deadly confrontation with the police, where we saw last week at least 22 fatalities, 197 or over 200 injuries, and over 1,200 arrests, along with damage to shops, vehicles, and looting of multiple supermarkets and warehouses. That is how bad it was. And the unrest was triggered by the government's decision to slash diesel subsidies and led to widespread looting and mass arrests, with tensions spreading from the capital Luanda to other provinces. Now, that is one problem. We are seeing people of Luanda saying, we cannot do without this, very important fluid, and the government is reducing the subsidies, so it's going to rise. But my question is, we have the mineral. We are the biggest producer in Angola. What are they doing that they needed to subsidize? It means that these people have been importing raw, like unprocessed, unrefined crude oil, and buying processed, just like Nigeria, the biggest producer of oil in the world, until now Dangote came in. And by the way, this is what Dangote said about Africa. And he said that Africa bleeds $90 billion yearly buying foreign fuel. And he said despite producing ample crude oil, Africa imports over 120 million tons of refined petroleum products annually, worth more than the GDP of 85% of African countries. And I quote him, he said, "We are effectively handing over our entire continent's economic potential to others year after year." So it's crazy. And this is the reason we are seeing Angola going through that. The question is, will their president change this? Their president is called Wow Lorenzo. And he was the guy who was bringing Rwanda and Congo together sometimes back. So I don't know if he's going to build refineries. I understand there are some refineries in Angola, but they are not to capacity. There are those small things. Yeah.
The problem that we have with our presidents is that when they are put in power, just like we were saying, when they are campaigning, their campaigns are usually supported by foreign powers. And part of the deals that come with such support is, for your minerals, we'll be getting such and such a percentage. You won't even be able to make decisions on your minerals. So sometimes you find you wonder, why is our president quiet? Why is he not doing anything? But he closed himself with a deal that he cannot now abandon just because the people are complaining or the people are crying because of the hike, because of subsidies, I don't know what. So you find that they just have to let things happen the way they are happening, just because they totally have no control of the situation. And from what I'm seeing here, the Angola sells its oil to China, India, Spain, and Indonesia, of which these are friendly countries. Well, for China is such a friendly country. I don't know when it comes to our minerals how they operate, but if it's countries like the US, like these other European countries, those guys don't joke around. Your Francis, those ones still like in broad daylight. So you wonder, why is it that our president now cannot change certain things when it comes to us complaining about a mineral that we have in our own country? Why don't you create your own refinery? Why don't you employ your own people to refine this crude oil and make it processed so that we can afford? In Niger, the Abdurrahman Chani had to lower fuel prices because they were now producing their own from their own crude oil.
At some point, he even gave Mali and Burkina.
Yeah, they lowered the prices. These people, what do you call them? Car owners, what do you call them?
Drivers.
Yeah, those drivers were excited and celebrating their president because for the first time, you have a mineral that is serving you, and you are seeing the benefit of having, this rich country with a mineral that is there to help you. Businesses, fuel is something that we all need. You definitely affect anybody.
The most used energy in Africa.
Yeah, even if you don't have a car, you are affected by the fact that now transport will be expensive. Going to Luanda from the village will be expensive because the president decided not to think and not to care of his people.
Imagine in Angola, just last year, fuel subsidies accounted for 4% of their GDP.
Imagine. A mineral that they have.
Imagine they can just decide to build their refineries, and that the problem will be solved forever. Because in 2023 there was another protest when the government decided to do the similar subsidy cuts.
Still under same president.
Yes, and it was backed by the IMF. Veto protests. So it's something that you see IMF is involved. These people give you loan, and when you're paying, rather than building your refineries, you are there going around. It doesn't make sense. So guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. If you know Angola or you are coming from Angola, let us know what Lorenzo is doing. Also, if you like support us, we have Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. We also have super chats, super thanks, and subscribe. This is your first time seeing these two faces. We see you in the next one.
Bye.